Joining me now on set is Erika Katz. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much.
And you are the author of the book. It's called, let's see, it is called Bonding Over Beauty, a mother-daughter beauty guide to foster self-esteem, confidence, and trust. And there we have a copy of the book on the screen for everyone to see at home. And specifically, first, we were going to talk about something that I'm sure people may or may not have heard about. It's going on in France.
Yes.
And this is a company that has a new line of what they refer to as lingerie. And it's a new line for children. But the issue is whether or not it kind of blurs the line between adulthood and childhood, a time where really you're supposed to be innocent, not be necessarily thinking about some of the things we have to think about as an adult. And so the designer, who is French stylist Sophie Morin, right?
Yes.
Sophie Morin, or Morin, I'm sorry, Sophie Morin, is being criticized for this line here in the U.S. And we actually reached out to her to try to get a comment from her, and I believe that we do have the comment that we can put on the screen for you. She's uncomfortable speaking English, so she sent us this comment instead in regards to this lingerie, and she says that it really is just a matter of the term itself. About the term lingerie, the word coined by large firms and international style, echoed by many brands and many fashion items, simply means that my products are mostly opaque parts. She goes on to explain, loungewear inspired and created with materials from research in the field of lingerie. I recall that in France, the word refers to the linen industry as underwear for women, including men and children. This term alone does not induce sexy concept. But some people would beg to differ.
Well, I think the problem was really in the ad that was shown. And I think in that ad, we see girls wearing this lingerie playing, and they're 10, 11 years old, they're undeveloped, and they have these very sexy hairstyles and the poses.
Yeah.
And I think that's just another image that our children are seeing. And I think that's really the problem. And as parents, we walk a very fine line of, we don't always know what our kids are seeing and what our kids are watching. And when we see something like that, we get very upset because we don't want to see our children being sexual at such a young age. And when we think of lingerie, we usually think of the word sexy lingerie. That term is a very provocative term, and I think we don't want our 10 and 11-year-olds being provocative.
So she's saying that it's a matter of a misinterpretation of the term itself, but yet what seems to be at issue more so are the ads and how these young girls,
because they have these very sexy hairdos. And it's interesting because I posted on my Facebook fan page, Bonding Over Beauty, and a mother said that she went shopping, back to school shopping for her daughter, and there were padded bras for 11 and 12-year-olds, and she didn't know what to do. She was outraged. So I told her, you know what, take that outrage and change it a little. Make it a bigger conversation, and that's what I encourage parents to do. So when your child wants something inappropriate, like a padded bra, you say to them, why do you want that? Where did you see it? Who's wearing it? And usually it'll be somebody who's 19, 20 years old, and then you explain to them that person is 19 or 20 years old. While that might be okay for them, you're 11 and 12, and that's not okay for you. Because if you just turn to her and say, that's bad, she's not going to understand why. Because remember, at 11 and 12 years old, they don't really understand what they're seeing. But when we as adults see children being marketed something called lingerie, it's very off-putting to us, and rightfully so.